in the last 2 years, we've made seizure of more than 2 billion pills of tramadol.
I've seen videos from the NDLEA. They found drugs in noodles, in gas cylinders,
in certificates,
yes,
in holy books, in status. Even in human parts, quite a lot of parents are no longer parenting. Let's start from the home front. This is a hydra-headed problem. If you cut one head, it grows another 3 or 4.
Yes.
I can say it categorically that up till now, we have quite a lot of our celebrities under our watch. Seriously. Naira Marley at that point decided to come up to the leadership of the agency, but then people twisted it. We don't arrest people here. We catch you with it like this and we'll give them to your hand. Oh yeah? Shakam.
Femi Babafemi is the Director of Media and Advocacy at the NDLEA. Known for his strong public advocacy style, he has played a key role in shaping the agency's public awareness campaigns on drug abuse. On this episode, we take a deep dive into Nigeria's drug crisis and how power and culture intersect with it. Welcome to Beyond Addiction. I am Amadin Ogbewe, your host. Today, we're talking about Nigeria's drug situation. Drug law enforcement is on the rise, but some say perhaps drug use may be as well. We want to take a look at the intersection of power, culture, society. Are we treating the cause or are we just fighting the symptoms? Joining us today to do that is the Director of Media and Advocacy for the NDLEA, talking about Mr. Femi Babafemi. And as always, I'm here with my amiable co-host, Dr. Hope Omeiza.
Thank you. Thank you, Amadin.
It's good to have you.
It's my pleasure.
All right.
I'm surprised my friend is so
Yes.
Pleasure to always have you.
I guess you thought it was a co-guest.
There are several layers of cool here in this.
Anyway. When you have a co-host who is as versed in the field
exactly, because ideally I thought he would be complimenting whatever I would be doing. I didn't know that he would. So whatever I'll put it back to him. But he has the answer, whatever he will be asking.
Definitely. So let's just start with the Nigeria's drug situation at the moment.
Okay.
Is it a crisis? And when we say that, we want to know, are people actually aware of the scope of the problem? There's a number of statistics to look at to, point that out. We have about 14.4% adult drug use prevalence, although we hear that statistic is a bit old now, so we might not know.
Yes. But then it's still the only evidence-based statistics, apart from what we get from our operations and whatever. But then I can also assure you that we put processes in place to ensure that we have the next survey, even though it's highly capital intensive, so we need to work with other stakeholders. But then we're working on that.
I'll take you up on that again, but let me read out more of those statistics. We have over 16,000 arrests, 4.5 million kilograms seized, 600 hectares of cannabis farms destroyed in 2025 alone. The biggest opioid syndicate bust in November 2025, valued at 6.7 billion naira. All of this. So I sense that you're about to update my figure or something.
I wanted to explode when you have mentioned. I wanted to explode, but you are behind. You are behind data. Yeah. But then let's go. And in the course of the conversation, I'm sure I'll be giving you more updates on some of these things. There are things we don't keep information as much as possible.
Yes. So when you now want to explain the scope of this issue, is it a crisis?
Absolutely. I won't hide. What I'll call the situation of things. I mean, the drug survey report that was published in 2018 that we referred to earlier actually paints a grim picture of what the drug situation in the country is. And because when you talk of 14.3 million Nigerians, aged 15 and 64, meaning that there are still quite a lot of people under 15 and still quite a lot above 64. So, but then that's representative enough. And when you talk of that, that's a huge number. Because when you look at, let's even say, look at the figure of those abusing, because the most commonly abused is cannabis, which is 10.6 million. And when you look at population of a number of European countries, let me give you a country like Portugal, for instance. Portugal, as at that 2018, was about 10 million.
So within a country, we have a country.
So you just imagine. So that gives you, and the good thing is, yes, we have that reality that we're in a serious situation. But then the good thing is, when government saw that report in 2018 that indeed this is a huge crisis, there was an immediate action. That led to the setting up of the Presidential Advisory Committee on the Elimination of Drug Abuse, that's PASEDA. Coincidentally, that PASEDA then was headed by the current chairman chief executive of the NDLEA, General Marwa, and they did a good job going around the country and even outside the country, putting their facts and figures together, and they made huge, very well coordinated, well researched recommendations to government.
Sorry to question, sir. At this point, you know, we've established that figure was from around 2018.
Yes.
And you've been with the NDLEA, you've been in this journey.
Yes.
If you had to perhaps make a professional guess or assessment, has that figure increased or reduced with the advent of increasing enforcement and all of that?
Yeah, it would be very difficult if perhaps, you know, you are a journalist and I'm one, we are both professionals, so I'll answer you professionally, right? Because sometimes if you just answer a question without understanding the import or the implications, you may have dug a pit hole for yourself. So I'll tell you, indeed, in this game, you can't make a categorical statement. Prior to 2018, everything about the problem of drug in Nigeria was based on speculation. Do you understand? And it was on the basis of that report, 2018 report, that then we had something concrete, evidence-based, that we can say, yes, this is where we are. And so 7 years or 8 years after, if we have to really look at the situation again before we can again make category, yes, we can say NDLEA has made so number of arrests, so number of seizures, and blah blah blah. But then it's not professional to then declare, because we have made so number, or we have made this number of seizures, this is, do you understand? We can only make that declaration after another drug use survey had been carried out, and we have results coming out of that. But if you want me to speculate, I'll tell you, okay, if we have, based on arrest figures, based on our seizures, the number would have reduced. But then that may not translate to the reality.
It's not very scientific.
Very scientific, because we have not, quite a lot of, there's a difference between, we're doing much, I agree, but then there are factors, quite a lot of factors responsible. For instance, if you look at what's the population then, what's the population now, and has the poverty rate, which is a major predisposing factor, has it reduced or increased? So those are things you need to those are the things the survey, the parameters used in the survey to arrive at certain conclusions. Do you understand? So without those things, I can only tell you, we have done this, and for us, we do know, as a matter of fact, that, like I said again, for us, a gram we seize is a gram less what is available on this. I'll tell you, for instance, that as at 2018, maybe a pill of tramadol was probably like 50 naira. But now, a pill of tramadol, if you get it, maybe 700, 1,000 naira.
8,000 naira.
Yeah. And even because of availability, I'll tell you that in the last 2 years, we've made seizure of more than 2 billion pills of tramadol. I'm not talking of legal, licit. Dr. Hope is a medical doctor. He knows what I'm saying now. There are licit,
medically approved doses.
Milligram of tramadol.
Yeah.
50,
That is not what you're
100,
referring to.
no. I'm talking of those 125, 225, 250, 300 milligrams. That's out of space. Do you understand?
So it is a crisis.
Well, if you see, I painted the picture.
Yeah.
You draw the conclusions.
You're looking for me to answer myself.
He's a professional, I'm a professional. I know where he's going. So, indeed, you see, what I'm saying is this. Even if you want to make a categorical statement that indeed is a crisis, but then are we allowing the crisis to persist? That's a different. I'll tell you categorically that no, there is a good response from government and from the society. And in fact, I'll tell you what I appreciate most is the fact that we're even here discussing this is a whole lot, meaning that there is a very high level of awareness out there. Anywhere, anytime we send out any message, because we track all of the reactions of people within Nigeria, across Africa, across. Last week we had the whole leadership of NACOC, that's Narcotics Control Commission of Ghana. We had the whole leadership coming to Nigeria to come and for a benchmarking and talk visit of the NDLEA's operational model, because they're seeing what we're doing out there and they need to come and understand how you guys doing it. Do you understand? So what I'm saying is what we're doing here is re-echoing out there. People are feeling, and that's why we're having more international partners coming to work with the agency, with Nigeria of this, because they see how committed Nigeria is. They see how dedicated we are and how we're doing it. We're getting results. Maybe I'll give you most of my insight, but go ahead. Dr. Hope,
actually,
let me tell you on this podcast, there's nothing Dr. Hope wants to ask me. If you allow me, I'll push it back to him. Okay, you can answer. But then, for the sake of the conversation, I'll respond anyway.
Actually, I know where Amadi is heading. Babafemi himself is not somebody who goes by title. That's why you hear him say Mr. Babafemi. If I can call him Femi, it doesn't matter. He just wants the work to be done, and that has been replicating all the engagements we have with the agency, as it concerns him. Now, but the thing is this: we understand that people may be wondering. For instance, he has mentioned the seizures of tramadol and how the prices have skyrocketed. I guess people watching this may wonder, what about those who need them for medical purposes? Perhaps the conversation around marijuana use for medical use. Now, why we're not going into that today? But again, we need to sink this in, that the doses that people even abuse is not even those regimented and medically allowed for use by human beings.
Absolutely, by human beings.
So people are abusing on an inhuman level.
Yeah, so when you even hear that the NDLEA arrests so tons of tramadol, it's not your 50 milligram, your 100 milligram of tramadol. Most times, it is that there are inhuman doses of tramadol that people from the underworld have decided to populate our communities with and to destroy lives. But sir, do you still think that the drug abuse crisis, I would call it a crisis, and in fact, medically speaking, as a public health physician myself, I would also say that it's a public health concern and a pandemic. Now, but would you think that this is more of a structural problem? Because you've also mentioned that there are factors leading to the current narrative on drug addiction and abuse and the drug problems in Nigeria. Yes, so would you say that there are structural gaps, or perhaps there are system gaps even in operation, in execution, and all of that? I think, was it the governor of Katsina State recently said that while he had a meeting with some top security agencies in his state, 5 minutes after the meeting, some bandits were already aware of what was discussed in the meeting. How would you explain this?
Okay, this question from Dr. Hope. If I will answer it, I will answer it, but if I will answer it, it may take the whole 60 minutes you have of this program. Do you know why? Because he's asking me to start explaining what he already knows. Those are
for the purpose of
I will do that. I will do that as much as possible. You see, the problem. Well, I choose my words. They are free to choose the kind of words or express themselves in a way, but because I am speaking for an institution of government, I have to mind my language, right? I have to, so that when it's communicated, it's not misinterpreted. That's why I'm trying to be. So don't mind if I try to avoid certain words. That's deliberate and intentional. Now, what he's asking me to start explaining it is, yes, despite all of the great works NDLEA is doing on the marijuana and the stuff and all of those things, why has this problem not disappeared? No, it's not a problem that can disappear overnight. Do you understand? Because when you talk of, like I did say, the factors, there are factors responsible. This problem is a question we keep encountering every day. I was having lunch somewhere on Sunday, and on my lunch, a message was coming in. I mean, the person, the family friend was engaging with me on a chat and asking, I think we sent out a statement about the seizure of some 5.8 billion worth of illicit substances in a Lekki mansion, and then asking, despite all of this problem has not disappeared. And I'm like, it can't disappear like that. Yes, we have taken a huge chunk of what should have been out there on the streets. Just imagine if we had not taken that whole lot out. And that was my concern weekend when I put that statement out, that just imagine, see these things, designer sachets, packs, all of this, and beautiful, appealing. Because those things are attractive. They are, even the designs are enough to attract young people. The people doing this, they are evil. Deliberately using those kind of designs to attract young people. They paint it in a picture that you can't.
They're even utilizing marketing.
Exactly, marketing strategies. So you understand. And when I see that, and I imagine we taking out 4,000 bags of that, not the sachet, so 4,000 of that, weighing 2,626 kilograms. That's worth over 5.8 billion. That's exactly 5,815 million naira worth of Canadian loud. And they now package them into those small designer sachets going around families. Just imagine if that had escaped into Lagos alone.
So the way I look at this, sir, I don't think that the reservoir that we're dealing with is a static one. For instance, if we seize 1 million kilogram of substance, it doesn't mean that the manufacturers, the traffickers had 10 million and you've taken 1 million. And they will wait until the next seizure. It is that it's dynamic.
Yes,
they are producing.
What we think, our own thinking in the agency is, this is a hydra-headed problem. Meaning that if you cut one head, it grows another 3 or 4. Do you understand? Because if you look at the people we send to jail, the people we convict, we've convicted, we've had more than 14,000 persons, offenders convicted, sent to jail. That should have sent enough deterrence to people. But then, they are not. So, what we're saying is this. What then could be responsible? We then have to trace it back to the predisposing factor. That's the one I said. What Dr. Omeiza is asking me, if we have to go on to that, we'll be discussing, they will be spending a whole day here and we'll exhaust it. Starting with the family. Let's start from the home front. What we discovered is quite a lot of parents are no longer parenting. I'm telling you, they are no longer parenting. I've seen a parent ask us, the woman has like 3 kids that are already knocked down by substance abuse. I said, what's government doing about this? And I'm like, seriously?
She's asking.
Yes, what's government doing about this?
The kids in the house.
Yes, and I'm like, how did you ask yourself, how did this start? Do you understand? So quite a lot of parents are no longer parenting. We just give birth to children and then forget about them. Leaving them for the society to take care of them. And then what the society has to offer out there, there are a lot of vices. And so when these kids got consumed by the vices out there, the problems come back to the family, the society, and becomes a huge...
So, where I'm happy that the agency is aware that this is a hydra-headed challenge facing Nigeria, and which is why we are asking, are there system gaps? Now, several organs makes up a system, make a system. Now, so it means that the society aware, the public with which we need to shape their perspective of this problem, are they aware that, first of all, this is a hydra-headed problem, and this is one that requires a systemic approach. That means you need several organs to play in that system. Now, which is where Mr. Babafemi is taking us into family, community. In fact, because in the past times, you hear that a child is born by one person, but is owned by the community, is raised by the community. Now, so that brings another organ in that system. So when I say system gaps, I do not mean to say that the whole responsibility is in the government. For instance, I serve in the civic space, and I also serve in the professional space of treating people who suffer addiction. So there are several systems organs that have to function in that system. Sir, as an agency, as you go on, would you want to tell us, you've mentioned the family, what are the other organs that are suffering gaps? Before we probably touchlight more on the agency itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Like I said, he's not asking me what he does not know. So as he was asking, he was answering himself. But then that's fine. Yes, indeed, I started with the family. First, let me also emphasize that because we know that this is not a problem that can be handled by only a government agency. Neither can it be handled by even the entire government apparatus. Not in Nigeria, not anywhere. And that is why our approach, it's what we call a whole of society approach. Everybody, these are all the organs, different stakeholders, starting with the family, the other various stakeholders, the community leaders, faith-based leaders, organizations, community-based organizations, civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations. We all have our spheres where we need to play roles. And so the moment one organ fails to play its own role, whether starting from the family, the problem does not end there. The problem has ripple effect not only on the individual suffering the dependence or the addiction or his or her family, but on the whole of other organs, other stakeholders. Because, for instance, if an individual in a family is having this problem, struggling with this problem, or even when you see that somebody, a young man in your neighborhood, is experimenting and you fail to do something, maybe you think he's not a member of my family. You've forgotten that when you turn a blind eye, in another 2, 3, 4 months, you may be a victim of that problem. that you think you don't have a role, you don't have a responsibility.
Yes. So just to cut in a little bit, because we've segued into the next section of this conversation, which is the youth crisis, talking about how culture, society plays a role in all of this.
Yeah.
But before we quickly move on, I think you sort of promised that when we were not on record, that you're going to give us some updated figures, like a total number. Perhaps we'll still get that. And then when we move to the youth problem, have you been able to identify a cause when we say why youths are using drugs? Is it for a form of escape from pressure or from reality, or is it just something to feel good?
All of them. All of them. It could quite different people with different reasons. We've encountered all of these people. We have treated some of these people. Dr. Hope here there are things we see every day. Like, I will always start from the home, because that's the foundation. That's the smallest units of the society. The moment that even in some homes, you have the parents themselves who are dependent.
Who are users.
So when the kids, the young people in that home, when they see their parents, don't forget that we, as parents, we are the first role models of our kids. And so when they see what their parents are doing, automatically, I'll tell you, they'll copy. And when they copy, becomes an issue. In fact, you don't even have the moral authority as a father or a mother to challenge your child to correct, because you're doing the same thing. Where do you get the moral authority from?
So what about parents who are doing the right thing and the kids of these parents,
Yes, that's where now, let's say you are able to police your home very well as an intentional parent.
Yes.
Then this child will not live 24/7 in your home.
Yes.
They go to school, and then they mingle with children from other homes where they are not properly brought up. Those that are already infected. And then those ones have a way, that's what we call the peer pressure. Those ones that have a way of making them feel or look inferior. They have this, is one of the things we're discussing on our X Space this week. Give them that inferiority complex, because they are not cool. They are not cool. They are not. So when your child is not properly equipped from the house also to be able to withstand this kind of pressure, they succumb. And when they succumb, yes.
I just want to give a little experience here. I would like to consider myself one of those from the proper homes, and I've experienced it.
And then you
I was at a friend's house, sometime, and a friend of theirs came in. A sister, a big sister. I hope she's not watching this. But anyway, so
you didn't mention
I didn't mention anybody's name. So she came in with her younger sister. Now this sister is sort of like my age mate. The younger sister, is younger, obviously. So, in the course of a conversation, she casually put something in her mouth and started, it was a vapor, whatever it's called. And it was a bit jarring to me because, most of us there were age mates, except her. She's the youngest person in the room. And she just pops it out. And I felt, what's going on here? Like, first of all, this is not your house. You are a guest here. You're not even a guest. You accompanied a guest here. But you felt that you were comfortable enough.
That's the guest of the guest.
Or the guest of the guest, basically. Another time, I went for an event and someone just randomly came to meet me. After you get Rizla. What do you mean?
Do you look like?
Do I look like? So it made me think about my own life. What made someone think that I even would have, something of such with me? And this is what we talk about when we talk about youth influence.
Yeah.
So when you talked about models, let's talk about celebrities.
Yeah.
And the entertainment sphere.
Yeah.
We see a lot of this. When you say about being cool, people think that when they blow smoke, it looks cool. I won't mention names, but there's a very popular singer. There was a video of him that was trending. It was seated next to another singer who is seen to smoke a lot. I don't know if you do. So he handed him and said no. And we were like, what a good boy. It's not like that. 2 weeks later, he sort of became a chain smoker, used it to promote his music. But in that video, you could tell at that time he was trying to push it back and say no. And I wondered if someone at that highest level of stardom was trying to say no. And then a few weeks later, he becomes the poster boy for smoking. How much of this influence from celebrities, pop culture is affecting our youths, and how can we change that?
Absolutely, quite. That has a whole lot of impact and influence on our youth. And honestly, it's one of the things we are addressing at the moment at the level of the agency, because you have this. I mean, we know most of our youths spend almost 70 to 80% of their time on social media, on the internet.
Yes.
And they encounter these people. And for all you care, most of them also go into this thing to promote their business, forgetting that they have millions of other people's children in their homes who are watching them, seeing them, and treating them, idolizing them, treating them as their role models, as their guides in life. They want to be like them. And so when they do this thing in the name of promoting their business, that's their music business, these young people want to do that because they want to be like A, they want to be like B, and they see what A is doing, what B is doing. They think that is the right thing. And so they also want to do the same thing. So, but then honestly, I'll tell you that it's not acceptable. It's just that for us, we've never closed our eyes to this from the beginning. We've always deployed this carrot and the stick approach. The stick approach in the sense that we have arrested some of these people.
Yes.
Yeah, even a number of them convicted. Quite often also, we've also deployed the carrot approach, that is engaging with them. We've had to work with the Guild of Nollywood Actors, the leadership, to partner with them to ensure that they get their members to be good role models. We've also done the same thing with the Performing Musicians Association of Nigeria, to also ensure that their members put out the right content in their music as against some of those negative content.
Can I talk about one specific approach I've seen the NDLEA and some other anti-drug in Lagos? I'm talking about the use of ambassadors.
Yeah.
I understand. Again, I don't know if I should mention names. I will mention names. It's a free word.
Yes.
There was I'm talking about Naira Marley. You brought him in to then tell people that drug abuse is, abusing substances bad. In Lagos, we saw a popular content creator by the name of Mandy Kiss. She was brought in and they said, "You are now an ambassador." And people had some concerns. They said, if you were to get even a staff, to come into your place, there will be requirements that they need to meet. What requirements are certain celebrities meeting? If at the end of the day, when they say don't abuse drugs, you might see them somewhere doing contrary to that. Sometimes it might not even be about drugs. It might be that they espouse other, anti-societal behaviors, but then they say don't do drugs. Is that actually working, or is it counterproductive where people are saying, come on, I can't take this seriously?
Now, let me shock you. The foundation of that question was actually a fake news.
That's it. It wasn't
but I saw that on your page, sir.
No, let me.
Okay, go ahead.
We have actually, this has been on for some years now, but actually there was nothing like ambassador.
No, not as an ambassador. I said brought in as per.
Yeah, he was also careful with his choice of words. I noticed that. Yeah. But then let me explain to you. What happened was, that was a period when the agency was actually, we never hid that, and we have not, and I can say it categorically that up till now, we have quite a lot of our celebrities under our watch, seriously, because we need to put a stop to these things that they do to mislead our young people, and we continue to do that. We continue to work with those that want to be good role models, and for those that want to be bad ones, whenever we get them with things that they can be prosecuted for, definitely we will not spare them. That is a standard practice with the agency. Now, having said that, I'll explain what happened some years ago. Was basically, it was a heightened period where we were engaging with some of these people, and also at the same time going after those of them that are doing the wrong thing. And Naira Marley at that point decided to come up to the leadership of the agency to offer, because he had millions of young people, and don't forget then, one of a signal of their movement then was this. And so he wanted to, he said, well, he's fed up with that, and he needed to come and assure the agency that whether we are after or not after him or not, he's going to back down of this, and he's going to address his followers that they should do the same thing. And we felt that was awesome. That was good enough on your own. If you decide to say, okay, you are not doing anything, that was exactly what happened. He came, made that promise, and decided to do a video to say, this is my position.
I think that would be positive. It would get a positive response.
Which was, but then people twisted it to say, we appointed him ambassador. I said, how do we? I mean, quite a lot. I can tell you today, maybe people that have been appointed, made ambassadors, I can count them in, my fingertips. Do you understand? It's not what, quite a lot of processes.
So there is a stringent process. It's not just for anyone.
It's not just for anyone. But then we have people who are advocates, people who, if you, even you as an individual, if you decide to say, you're an advocate, do you understand? You can work, we are open to partner, to work with anybody and everybody, as long as you are promoting the same cause, you believe in the same vision. That's why we have Dr. Hope him here himself. Apart from being a medical doctor, has a medical facility, he set up the Vigada NGO, promoting this same cause. Do you understand? So it's all about getting everybody to buy in and take ownership of the fight against substance abuse. And wherever the message comes from, whenever you have your sphere of influence, please use that sphere of influence to promote good and public health.
Now, moving on, I want to say that people are asking, because you mentioned that these artists, celebrities are under watch. People are asking, if NDLEA is doing this much, why would they keep under watch celebrities who already have video evidences that you can take them to court with? Now, this being said, I understand that there may be organizations, other government agencies that need to play a role in censoring. The NDLEA may not necessarily have, by their act, may not have the capacity, to...
The legal backing.
Yes, the legal backing, in the Establishment Act, to go after those videos per se as evidences. But there are agencies that should collaborate with the agency, the NDLEA. Like I always say, that the NDLEA is the host of every organization fighting drug abuse or campaign against drug abuse. They are our mother body. Now, but there are other support systems that they require with other agencies in the government. So, what do you have to say about other agencies working with NDLEA to ensure that glamorizing drug abuse to our young people who see them as model? You have also agreed that our young people spend about 70 to 80% of their time on social media consuming these contents. Please, sir.
All right, thank you very much there, Dr. Hope. I'll tell you indeed that again, this is not a tax for just one single agency. It's a whole of society, whether those in the civil society, NGOs, faith-based, community-based, and a whole of government also. And in government, I'll tell you that just as recent as last week, this conversation came up with at the leadership of the agency to further engage with other agencies of government that have certain roles to play when it comes to some of these content being out there in the media space, and that process is ongoing to engage with them to see how some of these things can be managed in a way that will not have much, will not have a negative impact on. Yes, people can promote, entertain people, but then when what you are sending, when the message you are passing out is it's only benefiting you and destroying the lives of millions of others, then there has to be a check somewhere. And we're working. That is not within our own law, but then certain other institutions have some regulatory levelers to do certain things here, and then we're working with them at the level of our interministerial committee level to engage with other government agencies to ensure that we'll find a way to cope some of these things.
Yeah, fair enough. So
I hope that satisfies you, Dr. I mean, to the extent that I can, because I know it's an ongoing process. I will not be able to be that explicit as much as you want, but then,
you know, just like the senator accused him, you've accused him here also.
Okay.
He answered some of that question already.
Yeah, of course,
so
definitely.
it was already quite detailed. So my question is this: when we're talking about enforcement, first of all, the reason we've dwelled so much on youth is because a core part of the conversation is the cultural aspect of this and how we can curb
And
it.
I must appreciate your organization, the African CEO, for the fact that you even chose to bring this as a topic for discussion. You see, that's exactly what we're preaching. For everybody, you have your own sphere of influence, and you are using your platform to reach out to the young people, to everybody. You see, you may not be able to imagine how many people would be reached now, but because over the years, this thing will be out there on the internet, and people will listen to it and pick one or two things. That way, you are impacting on them positively. You wouldn't know the impact yet. So I'd like to appreciate, on behalf of the chairmanship executive of the NDLEA, we've always worked with Dr. Hopes Vigada, and I'm coming in contact with Africa CEO Club, and I want to, on behalf of the chairmanship executive general, I appreciate you. I must put that on record.
Thank you so much.
We're very happy when we see others on their own coming on board to make a contribution to, to public good, for in the interest of millions of our youths.
Indeed, thank you so much. Again, that speaks to the cultural perceptions we're trying to change. But the question now is the system structured in a way that perhaps is easier to tackle supply than it is to tackle demand? Wherein, yes, when you call these numbers, again, I still need the figures you promised us. When you call these numbers and we see some of the things that, how ingenious some of these drug peddlers and traffickers can be. I've seen videos from the NDLEA. They found drugs in noodles, half noodles. I've seen drugs in
yams.
Gas in yams, you know. I mean, that means it's grown. Gas cylinders, you know.
In certificates, in holy books,
indeed.
In status. There's nothing we have not seen. Even in human parts. Even in human parts, as in not big the one they swallowed. I mean, the most ridiculous of places. I don't want to go there.
Indeed. So the question now is, it's obvious to see the evolution of enforcement with supply. But what about demand? You know, where people still want it, not the people that are selling. Fortunately, again, I'll say that what we're doing, it's a full, complete balance of drug supply reduction and drug demand reduction. We're not just facing one side and leaving the other side, because where there is demand, there will always be supply. No matter how you, like we said, 2018, maybe a pill of tramadol was 15 naira. Today, over 1,000 naira. Just a pill. Do you understand? So
That
how
means we
people
have
still
taken.
cooking?
Yeah, that's why I say as long as there is demand, they will always find a way to. Now, there was a BBC documentary, undercover documentary last year that was released. That was a good eye opener. When they came, they approached me and they said they've done some undercover investigation in India, and what they discovered was shocking. How these things come into Nigeria, and in the course of their undercover engagement with the manufacturers of these opioids, they told them that the manufacturers told them that if your shipment is going to Nigeria, that they can't guarantee to enter Nigeria because NDLEA will seize them. For that, BBC got interested. Okay, so you people recognize that indeed there is a government institution in Nigeria that is not allowing this to enter. So they told them further, I watched it myself, that, okay, what they can do is they cannot come to Nigeria because they will be seized by NDLEA, but that they can take to any of the neighboring countries where you can warehouse them and then you'll be bringing them in trickles. Do you understand? But even at that, even though it's more challenging, but even at that, we still try as much as possible to mop them up. So where you have supply reduction, for us, that is not enough. That's why we also have to do, I can even almost say we do much more in demand reduction than even some, but because the supply reduction gets the fancy of the public, so, and especially the media plays it up more than even all our statements weekly that we issue every Sunday. You discover that we put a little of our demand reduction and sensitization activities, but the media will not touch that one. They will rather touch the supply reduction, the arrest, decisions, because that's the one I can understand.
So you're going to give us those figures?
Yes, definitely. Like I said,
now, just you see, you are so interested in the figures.
Yes, no,
it's exactly what we are saying.
But it's leading somewhere, because I was going to point out that when the statement we heard about how if you fight corruption, corruption fights back. We've heard it before. So it's also important to note what you are facing in your work. I mean, when you said the price of tramadol skyrocketed by almost 300-400%. That means that the amount of money that the criminals were making is being taken from them. And, I find it hard to believe that they would be quiet about it.
No, they are losing. Let me tell you, one of the things we do now is, first, we take you out of circulation by getting you arrested, sending you to jail. Beyond that, because we know some of them will even prefer to go to jail for 5-10 years as long as their assets are in place. So, another thing we do is, because we know that pays them more, so we'll go after their assets, bank accounts, mansions, and luxury vehicles through the process of Crime Act, POCA. We go that through the NDLEA Act, the powers within the NDLEA Act. So we do all of those to ensure that we deny them of the benefits of the process of crime. So we go after their assets, and then we confiscate the shipments, the illicit substances, and ensure that they are, because I know this may still come up in your day. What happens to the seized drugs? They are destroyed. They are publicly.
Can we talk about the manner of destruction? I've always wondered about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the environmental aspect.
Absolutely. That's the option available to us at the moment. But that's not to say that we are not working to switch to the alternative, which is incineration. Yes. We are working at that, but getting incinerators, they don't come cheap. Do you understand?
Okay.
These are
so can you help me debunk if it's a misconception or not? People believe that when you are burning huge swaths of weed, that the whole community is getting high.
These things are not set up in the market squares or city centers. They are taken far into the forest. They are taken far outside of areas where people live.
For the purpose of this conversation, people also ask that NDLEA do not necessarily destroy all that has been seized. that is possible that is being recycled back into society.
That's just imagination.
So can you
let me tell you how this works. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very much, Dr. Hope. Let me tell you how this works. For any seized consignment, illicit drugs, there are people trained as exhibit officers. There are exhibit rooms where these things are kept, and they are well documented. 2, even before these cases go to court, there are records of this. Not only are the commands, the agency is digitized now. That there is nothing, like I said, if you are open, even right on this my phone alone, you will see figures changing across commands and formations of the agency, because all the records happenings, they are coming to relevant portals where these things are documented. And at the end of, for instance, you arrest suspects, when the suspects are being taken to court, the same exhibits are presented as, the same drugs are presented as exhibits in court. And when the court decides, when the case is concluded, the court gives the judgment that the offender be sent to jail, the drug be publicly destroyed, or be forfeited to the government.
Must be there.
Yeah, publicly. That's what the law says. And then, after all said and done, we go back to the court to state kilograms. And the court order gives an order that it should be publicly destroyed, number. And on the day that it to be done, everything is gathered in public with witnesses from civil society, other law enforcement agencies, international partners, not only religious bodies, everybody come together. The items are listed, the kg, they are checked again one after the other in the open there. Confirm that what was seized from the beginning is exactly what is on ground. It's exactly the same thing. The court has given an order for its destruction, and that is destroyed, publicly burnt. And we don't just leave it, we don't just set it ablaze and leave there. Our officers, sometimes in the course of 2-3 days, they are on ground to ensure that everything is burnt to ashes until they are completely raised.
So this might be a wild idea.
Yeah, reduced to ashes.
Just a question, so to speak. Has there ever been any consideration that there's opportunity for, economic prosperity here? I mean this to say that something is illegal in Nigeria does not mean it is illegal elsewhere. And when you say no, hold on. It's
I already know where he's going.
Because
go ahead.
Yes, so when these things happen, because for instance, when you mentioned the means by which you take assets. We understand that there are some seized assets that get auctioned off. The other day, I think the EFCC auctioned off houses that were got from the proceeds of corruption.
Yeah.
So it's something that already happened. Okay.
We do the same thing.
So that's what I want to know.
Yeah, we do the same thing. Vehicles.
What about the drugs themselves?
No. Those ones are for. That's why it's stated there.
So can we export them to countries where they are legal?
No. They don't have second-hand values.
Okay.
They are not. They don't have second-hand values.
So
because don't forget that they have been stored over time in exhibits in the course of those cases. So some of these cases run for months. Some run for years. So in the course of that, they have lost any value.
Yeah, I was going to take
so you cannot, and even that's even dangerous. Even everywhere they don't do that. Nobody does that, because in the course of doing that, you are exposing your system to some other dangers
because that cannot be regulated.
Yes, because in the course of saying you may find some of these things slips by again. So to foreclose that, is better you stay focused on. Do you understand?
So on the issue of the length of time, months and years it takes to prosecute and get through, arresting and jailing an individual.
Yes.
Now, do you suggest that this can also be a gap and maybe a problem for the NDLEA in carrying out their mandate? Do you suggest that maybe the Establishment Act of the NDLEA be amended so that they probably also have the capacity, to censor videos that are glamorizing drugs? They can also probably have the capacity to, have automatic run-ins for court proceedings. so that a judge will not just adjourn cases that has to do with. And of course, I know it's sometimes not even in one court you finish handling a matter. You go from maybe the magistrate or so, you move to.
Our cases are handled by the Federal High Court, not even the State High Court.
Okay, good.
Not even magistrate.
So initially, I think that's an improvement on the previous legal
Federal High
issues.
Court, but then I mean, somebody can go to appeal. But then I'll tell you that. Thank you, Dr. Hope. I'll tell you that indeed, most of our cases don't even go beyond appeal court. I mean, don't even go beyond the Federal High Court. The reason is this: we don't arrest people here. We arrest here. Because when you see the pictures we show, you will see you are caught with it. That's why that's a problem. That's the difference between what we do and what you call the video evidence. We don't just say something that somebody can deny, no, it's not drug. Do you understand? We catch you with it like this and we'll give it to your hand. Oh yeah? Shakam. Do you understand? I mean, how do you say it? Young people.
This was what happened with the drug party, right?
Yes.
There were agents in there already.
Exactly. You see, because we have quite a lot of undercover agents everywhere. That I will tell
they
you.
could be here too. You don't know.
So I think
I will tell you where they are.
I think Amadi,
I mean, it could be me asking, just to throw people
Amadi
off.
is still interested in the figures, and like
Okay, the figure. Okay, you want me to? Yeah. Okay, the figures.
I want to know what people are losing.
No,
the
but
people who are.
Amadi, why are you not concerned about the number of people that NDLEA is treating in their facilities?
No, of course.
Now,
it's all part of it,
because it's also a loss to the treatment of those who suffer addiction. It's also a loss
of customers
to the dealers.
to
the
because
dealers,
it's reducing demand.
Yeah, exactly.
And if there's no demand, there's no supply. Anyway, but you see that underscores what the NDLEA have said, that people are concerned for media pressure. They are concerned of the supply. I mean, supply reduction.
Okay, let me rephrase that question.
So no.
We want the
please,
numbers.
Give him the figures.
Okay. We want the numbers.
I'll give you the numbers of both both demand and
fair enough. So that
Now let me start with arrest. I'll tell you that in the last 5 years, the agency has made 77,835 arrests. 77,835 arrests. That also that has led to the seizure of over 14.8 million kilograms of assorted illicit substances. That's actually 2021 to end of 2025. If I'm adding the first 3 months of this year, that 77,000 would have been over 80,000 arrests, and that seizure would have been over 16 million kilograms. Do you understand? And then
that's trillions.
When you are talking, we try to as much as possible run away from the monetary figure. Do you understand? Translating that to, because when you are definitely to be in trillions, because we know that when you mention the money, then while you are trying to deter some people, some people get interested.
There's a lot of money.
There's a lot of money. So they become more desperate. Yeah, it motivates them because they become more desperate.
That's
this kind of money. That's honestly, that drives a lot of people into this thing. Despite the fact that because we interview them, we speak to them, they will want to tell you that because they know that with just a handful of cocaine, it can fetch them hundreds of millions.
And they're not considering the arrested person, the person going to jail.
They just say that's his luck. That's his luck. To them, they want to try their luck. For instance, okay, let me not go there. Let's continue.
I want you to go there, sir. No, please go there. No,
I have so much, but I can't give it. I can't give it all. Just like that. But then, okay, arrests, seizures, then the convictions over 14,122 convictions of, but then when you put the first 3 months of this year also into that would have been over 15,000 convictions. And when you talk of rehabilitation, counseling rehabilitation, within the same period, we are talking of over 48,000 persons who have gone through treatment and rehabilitation facilities.
How are you getting these people? Is it that when you catch the perpetrators, you find the victims? How does that work? Where do you get these people that are rehabilitated?
All our facilities, we have 30 across the country. We have about 7 more. We do hope that will be ready before the end of this year. But I'll tell you that all of these facilities across the country, they are always filled. And that's why we work with those in the private sector, like Dr. Hope, the Vigada, the Talk Center. and others to ensure that we have private sector driven facilities partners who also provide some of these things, because the people, you see, what we try to do is we've tried to present ourselves as not just the law enforcement agency. We've also presented ourselves as first responders, ready to assist you, support you. We will not come with the threat of arresting you. No. All we do, as long as we know that you are not a criminal, you are not dealing in this, we know that we understand certain circumstances and you need help, then we'll provide you that help. And that's why, even for those, in spite of that, who may still be afraid of being the fear of arrest or being stigmatized or being judged, we provide a support helpline. That's the call center, where we also have the same professionals, counselors, clinical psychologists, psychotherapists, and psychiatry doctors who work 24/7. All anybody needs to do from any part of the country is to call our toll-free helpline, which is 0800 1020 3040. And you
Maybe
have,
you should take it again, the number.
Our toll-free helpline in our call center, where people who are struggling with substance abuse or who need help, the number to call is 0800 10 20 30 40. If you call this number from any part of Nigeria.
So we've run out of time now. So if you can just, in a few seconds, just answer a quick one. Is there any story or, through the course of your work that has really stayed with you, that perhaps changed how you saw things? We just want to get that personal perspective.
Yeah, I would say that indeed, when I see the story of addiction, is not what most people are afraid to share. But because we relate with these people, they approach us first before any other person. So when you hear some of their stories, honestly, when some people are advocating for legalization of certain drugs, there will be a swell of holy anger in you, because you've seen stories, you've seen families go down because of this. They cannot come out to share their stories, but they are dumping these things on you as an officer of NDLEA, as a government official, and you are absorbing them. You are taking them every day. You are seeing the pains these people are going through. Whereas the people out there, they are not seeing. They don't have the privilege, the opportunity to see these things. Do you understand? So when I remember certain stories, I have quite a thousands of such stories to share.
Is there anyone that you can stick to?
Now, let me quickly tell you two stories. One, there are actually things that because I was closely with my chairmanship executive, so some of these things I'm privy to them, I'm involved, and she shares them. There was a particular highly placed Nigerian who sought to see the chairman over the problem of his young son, who is struggling with substance abuse. He probably needed help for him. And so somebody introduced the man to the chairman, and the day appointed for him to come with the man, it was the third party, the intermediary, that came instead of the man. In fact, when I say highly placed, I mean a former minister. Do you understand? And then when the person came, and then chairman was, where is the man? So just as they were getting set to come today, the older son was down in the hospital for overdose and he's died that morning. Do you understand? You are trying to seek help
for one.
And then when you are going for that money to seek the help, the same day you heard that your first son
had overdose
and died in the hospital. So you understand? That can break your heart. And then there is another case. I was actually on a flight with my boss from one place to the other. And then there's an elderly man, also a highly placed, who coincidentally shared the same seat row with the chairman, and the man was so excited that he has been looking for him, that God has brought him together with him. For the long hour of that flight, the man engaged him, told him the story of his son, how his son had been in and out of rehab for more than 8 times. Do you know what? You don't understand it because you don't experience it. Do you understand? You know, when an individual is suffering this thing, he's not the only one suffering it. Both parents, mother and father,
siblings,
relationships, everybody connected
to him.
You are down. I'm telling you, it can be very emotionally traumatizing. Very traumatizing. Your resources are going into it, and what's
emotions and everything.
He's gone in, come out, you are a bit relieved, and just as you are trying to savor that relief, another cycle begins 8 times. And the man said, in one instance, the young man, in the course of looking for money to buy substance, stole his father's computer to go and sell, to raise money to buy this thing. When the man discovered it, traced where he sold it to, went there to buy it back from them. Then while he brought it back the following day, he restole it. There is.
I think that's how we end it now. We
may laugh with
but
it,
it's a serious issue.
you know, it can be very traumatizing.
Thank you so much. It's been very enlightening. Well,
Dr. Hope, thank you very much.
And that's how we round off the podcast for today. It's been a very enlightening and interesting one. I personally learned some things. I hope you did too. Before we come your way again, I do need something from you. Please like, share, subscribe, and we're back here once again to take you on this journey beyond addiction.